What up, reader fam? Today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, opinions, and feels on Wapa! A Poison, Dark, and Drowning by Jessica Cluess. I'm working with Penguin Random House on this video, and they were nice enough to send me this here physical book of A Poison, Dark, and Drowning, so thanks Penguin Random House. A Poison, Dark, and Drowning is the second book in the Kingdom on Fire series, the first book being A Shadow Bright and Burning. I read this book last year and I loved it. I did a full video book review on this book, so if you want to hear all my thoughts on the first book, then I will leave a link down below to that video so you can go and check it out. But to give you an idea as to what this series is all about, we follow this girl by the name of Henrietta living in Victorian England in a time where magic is alive and well. It's kind of got a bit of a historical fiction aspect to it, but it's also got a touch of magic, so we've got that urban fantasy element going for it. Our main character, Henrietta Howell, basically has the ability to burst into flames. She gets lit, fam. Okay, that was kind of a lame joke. England is plagued with these cruel monsters called ancients, and Henrietta is considered to be the chosen one who will save England from these creatures. That's a general idea as to what this series is all about. Today I'm going to be focusing on A Poison, Dark, and Drowning and sharing my thoughts on this one. I am going to be very vague because this is obviously the second book in the series and I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm not going to spoil anything for this first half of the video. Trust me, I'm not here to ruin the gloriousness of this book. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of trash for this series, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to kind of find something to critique within this series. All in all, I love this sequel so much. It truly came and delivered. There were moments when I was reading this book where I felt like elements were coming into play that I was afraid weren't going to work out well for the story, and that I wasn't going to be happy in the direction that the story was going to go in, but boy oh boy was I wrong. Jessica Cluess proved that she knows what she's doing. Something that really stuck out with me for this sequel was the pacing. I really thought that certain places the story was going would kind of have an effect on the overall pacing of the story and that it would slow it down, but no, again, I was wrong. I need to have more faith in Jessica Cluess apparently. Those elements that were brought in were executed in a way that kept the story moving at a really nice and rapid pace. I never felt like at any point throughout the story that it dragged. Bravo, Jessica Cluess, bravo. That's not an easy thing to do. I see authors time and time again struggling with that in their own books. The writing style for this series is rather simple, but that's okay to me. I didn't go into this book expecting to have my life changed by the style of writing, so maybe that's like one little critique that I have, but it's really not that big of a critique and it really doesn't matter. I'm just a sucker for those books that have like beautiful, flowery, poetic writing, and this book doesn't really have that. So when it comes to the writing of the plot and characters for this series, that's where this author truly succeeds. There is a rather big cast of characters that you follow throughout this series, and sometimes in books that can make the story really cluttered, but I never felt that way reading this book. You really get a nice feel for each and every character. They all have really nice distinctions between each other, so it makes it easy to know who's who. And the plot, oh my gosh, the plot. I'm sorry, did that hurt? She really went all in with this sequel. I don't know if I'm just blind to certain things and that there were twists in the stories that I should have seen coming, but regardless, she had me shaking in my boots throughout this story because of all the shockworthy things that were taking place in this book. I'm still a little bit shaken up, I'm not gonna lie. I really loved the first book, but I can without a doubt say that I loved the sequel even more. I feel like the first book is when you go to a restaurant and they serve you a salad before your meal and you're like, okay, this salad is pretty good, it's like holding me over. And then they bring out the main course and it's like, yo suckers, I'm here to serve you some deliciousness. That's what this book did. All in all, I give A Poison, Dark, and Drowning a whopping 5 out of 5 stars. And to give you an idea as to what I gave the first book, I gave A Shadow Bright and Burning 4 out of 5 stars. This one really took the cake. So now there are some spoilery things that I want to talk about, so if you haven't read A Poison, Dark, and Drowning, you should totally go read it, and then once you've read it, come back and discuss with me all the spoilery things that I'm about to discuss. Okay, so I have a list of like 7 things that I want to talk about, so we're just gonna go down that list, and we're gonna talk about those 7 things. I want to first talk about Mariah because I loved the addition of the character of Mariah. I love her character so much. Right off the bat when we met her, I was like, you are going to be a very important character in this series, and what do you know? She is such an important character. I just love how easily she fell into the group and got along with everyone. It just felt like she clicked. It's like she was meant to be a part of it all along. I love the relationship that developed between her and Henrietta, and I loved how willing she was to find a cure for Rook, even though that didn't really work out too well. Magnus, let's talk about Magnus. I'm kind of sad because it feels like my ship between Magnus and Henrietta crashed. I mean, I feel like there's still hope for them to end up together. If you guys don't know, I love Henrietta and Magnus together. That's my preferred ship. I did like Rook, but the fact that he was just going so dark, like I just don't see him coming back from that really. I don't see Rook overcoming the darkness that is currently consuming him. Who knows? Maybe book 3 will surprise me in that way and they'll save Rook from being dark. But right now I'm really on board with Magnus and Henrietta working out. Magnus has just proven how much he cares for Henrietta, like when they get stuck in Fairy and how willing he is to step in for Henrietta. And I just really want them to be together, but we'll see what happens in book 3. Next up, I just kind of want to point out some like Harry Potter parallels that I picked up in this book. I don't know if any of you guys picked up on these. One of the ones that I picked up on was the magical weapons, and I don't know why, but it really brought me back to Goblet of Fire. Well, I know why. It's because they were like trying to figure out the weapons, trying to understand them, and like the flute one, I think it was the one that was like screaming, and I was just like instantly brought back to Goblet of Fire when Harry gets that dragon egg as a clue for the dragon duel, and he's like trying to figure it out, and when he opens it, it just like screams bloody murder. And then the other thing is when Henrietta is using that thing to kind of look back into the past and to learn more about her father's past. Like she was basically using a Pinsy from Harry Potter, guys. This next thing might be the biggest what the heck moment for me in this book. The second we learn of the possibility of Henrietta's father not really drowning, I was like, where is this gonna go? And then we learned that Relum ain't no goner. And then again, I was like, where's this gonna go? And then it's just like two worlds collided. We got Relum over here, we got Daddy over here, and they combine. And what do you know? Relum is actually Henrietta's father. What the heck? I'm honestly still in shock. The next thing that I want to talk about is Blackwood, and this is just mostly the fact that I hate Blackwood. I hate Henrietta and Blackwood together. I am not here for this shit. If you ship Blackwood and Netta, can you please just comment down below why? Can you explain to me why you like them together? This is no shade. This is no diss. If you ship them, I'm happy for you. Your ship seems to be doing a-okay, but like, I just don't understand that ship. I don't understand why you would want them to be together. In my opinion, Blackwood is just really manipulative with her. It just really felt like to me he was kind of forcing the relationship onto her, and I just really didn't like that. It felt very possessive to me. The next one is one that I kind of touched on, and that is Rookie Cookie kind of going to the dark side. Actually, not kind of going to the dark side, completely going to the dark side. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that there would be no possible way that he could do anything about it. And that's the sad thing, is that he just couldn't control it. There's nothing he could have done. But it was just so sad kind of seeing that transformation, seeing him just go completely dark, and seeing him just completely lose himself and transform into this crazy monster. The last thing that I want to talk about is Rook biting Henrietta. What does this mean for the next book? Like, I honestly just kind of feel like it was a little bit brushed over at the end of this book. I was like, yeah, so are we gonna discuss that? Are we gonna go further into that and figure out how to save Henrietta? This means that Rook is her master now and she's unclean, and what's gonna happen in the next book? I need the next book now. So those are all my thoughts, opinions, and feels on A Poison, Dark, and Drowning. You guys should let me know down below all your thoughts on this book. What was your favorite moment? What was your least favorite moment? Who do you ship with Henrietta? Let me know all your feels down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to be notified as to when I post new videos, be sure to go and hit subscribe, or go and click the little bell icon and you'll be notified as to when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew.